don't get distracted. Please pay very close attention to what I'm about to say. Because if you're listening to the media mob and the pundits and Democratic hacks, they have no clue about what really happened in this Hunter Biden case. None at all. It's deep. It is profound what has happened. The major story that they are not talking about or telling you about from Hunter Biden's trial is not the conviction on gun crimes. Now, it's important. That's low-hanging fruit. The evidence in this case was overwhelming. It was incontrovertible. And unlike Donald Trump, he had a fair venue, trial, judge with real charges and not ones that were made up that you didn't even know about. The critical development from this trial is one huge single piece of evidence entered into the official record by your U.S. government, and that's Hunter Biden's very real laptop. Not only did the U.S. federal government confirm that Hunter's laptop is real, they confirmed that its contents are real, and the contents have not been tampered with by anybody. In other words, you were lied to on a very high level just before an election by numerous people and entire institutions. You were lied to by Hunter Biden himself. You were lied to by his father, your President Joe Biden. You were lied to by NBC News, fake news, CNN, NPR. Well, let's just say pretty much everybody in the media mob. The list is far too long to mention. You were lied to by America's 51 former intel so-called experts, the ones that signed off on a letter insinuating that the laptop was most likely had all the earmarks of Russian disinformation. Meanwhile, not a single one of them ever did anything to investigate that claim, examine the contents of the laptop. You were lied to by Clapper. You were lied to by Brennan. You were lied to by your own government. What do they all have in common? They all wanted Joe Biden to win by any means necessary, and it's worse than that. According to a report, John Solomon, the FBI, the DOJ, knew that the laptop was real since before the 2020 election. But instead of doing the right, honorable, and honest thing and telling the American people the truth, the federal government was out there pre-bunking the laptop story with big tech executives. Remember, in the months leading up to the 2020 election, the FBI was having weekly meetings. They were warning big tech companies they may all be victims of a foreign disinformation campaign about the election, and that misinformation may be about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. And it gets worse. They knew Rudy Giuliani's attorney had a copy of Hunter's very real laptop. They knew the odds were very high that it would leak before the election, and they knew it would likely destroy any chance that Joe Biden had to win the election. And then they had to act. After the New York Post broke the story, when Facebook and Twitter asked the FBI specifically if this is what you were warning us about, was the laptop misinformation, they refused to confirm the truth, leaving those companies free to then censor the very real laptop story, and that's what they did. I mean, you couldn't even send a private message with a link to the New York Post. Big tech, the media mob, all happily gobbled up their FBI, DOJ, pro-Biden contribution, misinformation. By the way, if it was in Alvin Bragg's district, they probably would be charged with an FEC violation. And ultimately, they use this as the basis to censor the most important information in the final weeks before the 2020 presidential election, all because they wanted their guy to win. This is beyond egregious election interference. And frankly, if it's not criminal, it should be criminal. But tonight, none of these liars have an ounce of remorse. None of them have any regret. For them, it was all a means to an end. They wanted Trump out. They wanted Joe Biden protected from scandal at all costs. And you better believe the contents of that laptop were and are today damning for Joe Biden as well as Hunter Biden. Forget the salacious photos of drug use and the prostitution and the firearms. The real scandal surrounds the so-called Biden brand. Now, if you